Hello everyone and welcome back to round 2 of the 2025 Indy NXT series. Yes, today we return to the infamous Long Beach, but with a twist because we have got one former and one kind of future racing driver in the sim. One of them is currently a racing driver. Laurens van Hoepen has joined us for this one. Of course, he recently made his debut out in Baku in Formula 2. Didn't quite have the best weekend, but still, of course, yeah, going up against a Formula 2 driver is always quite fun. And the second one is Roberto Guerrero, who had, I believe it was just over 20 F1 races back in the 1980s, was the first Colombian ever to drive a Formula 1 car. He then also went on to compete in kart and Indy kart. I believe he won 2 kart races as well during his time in the series in the early 90s as well. So always interesting to see how we get on against some real life drivers. But of course, this is Long Beach, so survival is going to be absolutely everything. Of course, if you're new, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We are getting very close to the 2K subs on the channel. But yeah, let's do this thing. Well, here we are then at Long Beach for round 2 of the Indy NXT series. Now, Guerrero is 2 rows behind me. Laurens van Hoepen started right at the back of the pack. So there's a real chance I could be a current and a former racing driver in this event. Saying that though, I am at 212, so I will most likely bottle it at some point here as just trying to get some temperature into the tyres as we make our way through the final couple of corners. Easy does it. Everybody's got to try and kind of make their way through. So we'll try and give ourselves a bit of a gap ready for the launch. Oh, there we go. Lights out and away we go then. And hopefully we're going to be able to try and keep it clean and tidy. Whoa, what's going on? Into turn 1. What are those two doing? He's just immediately tried to get across him. No idea what to make of that one then, but as we've got to try and get some temperature into the tyres. I think he's still on my inside. Is he there? No, he's completely gone, so no, I completely missed that one then. That first couple of corners. Maybe it's been a bit of netcode or what, but yeah, top 2 in qualifying much quicker than myself and everybody else. But already then some complaints coming out further down the back of the pack as well, but the push to pass usage is going to be quite important here. Because it's a really tricky circuit to obviously try and use it on. Now, some of you guys were letting me know in the comments on the last video that it seems like the strat is actually just use it off of most corner exit. You can't use it on lap 1, I believe, as it already looks like Laurens van Hoepen then has perhaps been involved in that lap 1 incident. We'll obviously take a look at that after the race as to everything that went down. Of course, as always, timestamps are linked down in the description if you just want to head to like the instant report or something like that in these races then. But there's another incident behind me then, maybe a bit of bumping and bashing down that final corner. Yeah, I was expecting David and Mikhail to kind of scamper away at the start, but after I qualified P4, I was hoping that obviously we could try and get a decent position in this race. I think we could. No, we can't quite get to 2K iRacing in this one. That is obviously on sports cars, where I'm almost back at that level. But yeah, in Formula cars as well. I mean, I should be able to get up to sort of 2K if I can keep it clean and tidy. The problem is, of course, I do a lot of racing in the Formula 4 car, which is either kind of you gain like 50 or 60 or you lose 100 pretty much every single time you do one of those races. So there is kind of that swings and roundabouts element as well to that series. But try to just settle down then into a bit of a rhythm early on. No idea where, for example, Guerrero is early on. Of course, a 2-time kart race winner back, I believe, in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, fair play. I think he's in his 50s still doing iRacing, which is pretty good going there, as we are definitely losing some cars early on. But yeah, I kind of want to hope that I can do the Indy NXT series every week. Obviously, we did Laguna Seca last time. I had a lot of fun with it, so I'm looking to try and obviously continue doing racing in this series as best as I can. But of course, attendance numbers aren't always fantastic. This was a single split event, and this is only week 2. But that being said, it is also Long Beach, which people hate driving on because obviously it's not one where you get much racing going on, is it? It's far more just about survival around this circuit. Errors, I think we've got a little bit of air there over that curb, so got to be careful that we don't do that too many times. But yeah, I mean, it is just more 17 laps of trying to stay out of trouble in this one. But I quite like the 20-minute races. They're good fun in this car as well. And hopefully, of course, over the next couple of weeks, attendance might be a little bit better there. As I think Aku behind me almost just nicked the wall. Yeah, I want to be averaging about 10 seconds of usage, obviously through the push to pass each and every lap. So I think if you wanted to, of course, you could use it all the way down in towards turn 1. Just not sure that's the most effective way of using it around this lap time as well there. But maybe David and Mikhail can have a bit of a battle. And of course, obviously, if they came together, maybe we could try and pick up the pieces as well, as they're already immediately down in the low 112s. And, well, I'm happy just to be in the low 13s. Never done a 112 in this car around here. I did a 13.01 in qualifying, so yeah, I mean, if we got it in the race, I'd be very, very happy, but that's kind of not what this race is about. It is, as always, just about trying to survive here around Long Beach. I have learned to love this track, though. Oh, I think Aku's made another error. Yeah, obviously, after doing it in the Ferrari Challenge car in Creator Series, I have learned to appreciate Long Beach a bit more and don't mind it as much. It's just normally in, like, F4 and things like that. It is hilariously stupid to try and run a race around here, because people just try and go for overtakes wherever they possibly can. And then, of course, you know, if you run like IMSA or something like that as well, people are just crazy and have no patience or anything like that as well there. As I don't know whether Aku did make a mistake. It's definitely dropped back a little bit. Oh, he left it in second gear there off the final corner. We used a bit of push to pass then to give me the speed back around towards the start-finish line there. That was a little bit of a bad run off that final corner. So, I mean, the 13 flat, though, still a new personal best, of course. Does take a couple of laps to try and get everything up to temperature, everything up to speed there. Is nicking the inside curb, and that almost threw me out towards the outside wall. Easy does it. Easy does it through those first few turns. So we'll just see that. A little bit of the ground clipping through. Come on, iRacing. Got to optimise Long Beach. This place did get some overhauls in recent times. We just grazed the wall there with the rear tyre. But yeah, unless those two at the front really start battling. So, we've had an incident. Oh, I think that's David. David with issues. He's going to try and defend from me, but we're going to definitely get the run on him. And I think I could see that car potentially crabbing a little bit. So has there been a bit of an incident just there? Has that meant that Mikhail maybe has picked up some damage as well? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, like I said, we'll take a look at the incident report when we get to the end. Oh, there's David there. Oh no, I've put the pit limiter on. That was not good. And that might immediately mean that we're going to be under pressure again from David back in towards turn 1. I made that mistake last week, didn't I? Kept doing that. I mean, there's not a gap there, buddy, but okay. What on earth is that? Trying to be the hero there. And we will definitely defend it. I mean, there was never a gap on the inside there, and he was just trying to force the issue. Don't know if I've got a little bit of rear wing damage or what, but you know, I'm not normally one to try and get my elbows out like that, but if someone else is going to do something stupid, then I will try and make their life a bit more awkward for them. Nice and tidy. Get it all calm back down again. Obviously, everybody now has bunched up a lot more, and for Mikhail at the front, that might just be kind of the gap that he needs up at the front of the order here. So we'll just try and be a bit more methodical then with where we're using that push to pass now, just to make sure that we don't do anything too stupid with it. Get a visor tear off as well. So through that final corner, so tricky. And then obviously trying to get the power down as well is not easy out of that final corner. Really wants to try and wheel spin on you. So again, we'll just try and give ourselves enough push to pass that I'm not going to be under threat in towards turn 1. But of course, we want to try and obviously not use too much of it, otherwise I'll just be vulnerable towards the end of the race. And maybe David knows that. Of course, I don't believe there's any way you can see kind of how much push to pass everybody else has got. Whether that's something like through race labs or something like that. So David again slaps the wall just behind me. So he's very, very quick, but not very consistent. Come on. I mean, he just always wants to break free over the bumps up the hill. As long as we don't do anything too stupid. And again, just use a little bit of the push to pass again down this back straight. And almost halfway there already. He's definitely a bit more confident on the brakes than me, but, you know, you got to be a lot more confident if you really want to do something. Oh, locked up, locked up. Ugh. Oh, he span it! He's binned it again! So David there trying to get the run. I heard the spiker revs alongside me and David into the wall. So he won't be too happy about that one then. As I think that was another car as well that made an error somewhere around the circuit. Again, we're going to have quite a few incidents to look through at the end of this race, but it is Long Beach. What do you expect there? But yeah, just heard the spiker revs as he wanted to try and get the throttle down a little bit earlier. And was not able to make that work. Whether he just wasn't happy about obviously me trying to defend. You know, I'm not just going to roll over and let these guys by just because they've got a little bit more iRacing, because he's actually saved it. So I thought he was completely gone then. No, that's David Blanco, sorry, that's a completely different David we've now got just behind me. So I don't know how quick or how aggressive he will be. But let's just wait and see then, as I've got that many cars still running in this race already, and a couple of them almost going a lap down very early on. But say, I think there was 17 or 18 sign-ups for this, so even if you can just get to the end, you're probably going to get some iRacing just by surviving, I would have thought, in a race like this. Is there you go, that guy peeling into the pit lane then. So now the final corner, I think Dave just behind me, just trying to use a little bit more of his push to pass as well. Is he going to try to look for a run in towards turn one? He's going to go for it. I wanted to try and stay around the outside there, but that wasn't going to happen. Certainly hadn't given me any room on the way into the next corner. As here comes Aku as well. Oh, come on. Everybody's just got to try and stay out of trouble. Again, just making a little bit of an error there. This car is pretty good in the slipstream, so you have got to obviously try and use that as well. If we could get another run on Dave somewhere, I'd be very, very happy. Get as close to that inside wall as you dare. But maybe we can try and give him a run again back in towards turn one. Or is he just going to have to use a load of his push to pass to try and keep me at bay? I mean, some of us, yeah, really trying to attack that curb, but I don't think it's the way to go. So you kind of want to use it a little bit, but not too much there as through the final corner. Yeah, we have used a lot of push to pass though in the first half of this race. Well, let's see if we can try and get a run though back in towards turn one. If we can just keep applying the pressure, maybe we can force an error out of him. Not quite going to be there that time round though. So just can't really get away with a lot of curb. Right up towards his gearbox there. Easy does it though. I don't want to try and apply too much pressure and then make a mistake myself, so he skims the wall and I will follow him. I mean, he gets so close to the outside wall through there. I'm not willing to quite risk it like that, but yeah, I think we are as quick as this guy once we're kind of into the routine. So I don't know what damage we've got on the car or anything like that as well. So just try and use a little bit of push to pass there, give myself a little bit of extra ponies off of the corner. Say that seems to be one of the better strats to use in this machine. Do you dare try and have a look down the inside? I don't think so, through those final couple of corners. I've seen people attempt it before on iRacing. Doesn't normally go well, trying to go for that send down in towards there, but I mean, we could have, I think, had the run this time round had I kept the push to pass on. But not quite going to be able to, or just didn't think I was going to get close enough. I don't know kind of how much of an advantage it gives in these machines, so you have got to be a little bit careful with it. Again, Dave, I mean, everybody's getting close to the walls, aren't you, around here? That's Long Beach. If you're not getting close to the walls, you're not really maximising the circuit very well. You have got to be super, super careful with it. It's a huge snap again off of the corner. I think I'm going to try and save some push to pass now and just see if we can try and get a run a bit later on in the stint. Maybe if he keeps using some of his, or want to just try and make sure that I stay close without obviously using it though, so it is going to be a big push. I mean, he has got almost twice my iRating, but if we can force that error, or of course stick with him, hope that he uses more of his push to pass, and then we can try and get a run in the final couple of laps. That could be super, super useful. So still just locking up that front through those final couple of corners. I really don't know as well whether you want to kind of try and get on the throttle nice and early at that final turn, or whether it's worth just short shifting and then obviously getting on the loud pedal. I'm just worried if I short shift and then still put my foot down, we'll get wheel spin, and then the car still won't really go where I need it. Oh, that was the wall. Luckily we hit it again pretty square. As Dave again, you can just see there, making a little bit of an error through those first couple of turns, and I mean, one wrong move, one wrong angle, and he's going to be GG there, as I think, oh, we've just slightly cooked those rears in a couple of big, big moments through those couple of corners. You can just see again, gives him that breathing room that he needs. Just means he can calm it down. Doesn't need to be pushing as aggressively on corner exit or anything like that. But, I mean, this track is so, so bumpy as well. You have got to be super, super careful. And this car's pretty sensitive to the bumps. I mean, I know I've said it before, and I'm not saying this as a complaint, but yeah, these American open wheelers are a lot more kind of raw than a European counterpart, and therefore are a bit more susceptible to bumps and curbs, everything like that. You know, they're a bit harder to drive. You've really got to muscle them around the circuit a lot more than maybe, say, obviously a Formula 3 car or a Formula 2 car, something like that. Still on for the podium at the moment. There's 5 laps to go here from Long Beach. Still trying to take it a bit easy through turn 1. And of course, obviously, if I make an error, we've still got Aku just behind as well, who's spent most of this race directly behind me. Other David as well is still slowly closing back in a little bit more. But he's going to have to try and find his way around a couple of cars before he gets to us, so we'll wait and see about whether that will be an issue or not by the end of the afternoon. I mean, this car as well, a big, big part of it is about... Oh, not doing that, not doing that. Ow. Well, I think we got away with it. Just slid into the wall there. I got a little bit of wing damage, but that should be alright, as long as we don't get the meatball. Yeah, so much about obviously trying to attack corner apex, like carrying the speed into a corner as well, and allowing it to kind of slide. But I think, yeah, with that little error, now my eyes are probably quite firmly... Oh, defense as Aku makes a mistake behind me as well. Just getting a little bit squirrely out of that final corner. And the guy behind there, I think, wanted to capitalise, but not able to do so. I've just thought, obviously having a look through the incident report, it will probably end up being just a lot of wall taps, but hopefully we'll be able to kind of have a look through all the ones that I want to see from this race. But no! Oh, have I just straightened up the wheel, or have I completely damaged it? I got no idea. I think we're okay. I mean, it's not fantastic, but I think it's okay there. Maybe I think I've just straightened it up. Accidentally, I think I've just straightened up the wheel. That's pretty good going. So, yeah, definitely, as the tyres start to fall off, everything like that, a few more mistakes creeping in, and, well, with 3 laps to go after this one, I've just got to make sure that we get it to the flag, because there's still a fair bit of iRacing that could be coming our way, as long as we see that finish line. Nice and easy, nice and easy. I love the way this car sounds as well. Absolutely love its sound inside this game. So obviously when you downshift and things like that, just listen to it in the back. Doesn't rev that high, but really just sound like it's kind of a full chat as well. So it is, yeah, a really, really good sounding car inside the Sims after a couple of little errors. You can see as well. David in front has got some pretty good speed in this machine. Gotta stop picking up 0x's and everything like that. I mean, I'd rather a 0x than a 2x though. Normally, 0x means you've avoided picking up any damage or anything like that, so you normally don't have to worry about it too much. He's still got some push to pass though that we need to use, as David still only a few seconds behind us. And he's closing in rather rapidly, so I need Aku to potentially hold him up. Otherwise, we could be under pressure by the end of this race again, and well, I'm sure if he gets a chance to get a run on me, he's going to try and take it, especially with our car being just a little bit damaged. He will sense vulnerability, I'm sure, and I'm sure, obviously, you know, I feel like I fairly defended in towards turn 1. Obviously on that run where he tried to look down the inside where there was never really a gap. But he might view it differently, you never quite know, as now just starting to use a bit more of the push to pass right towards the end. We'll try and burn through some of it, but give ourselves 10 seconds worth just to keep hold of towards the end of this race. I know obviously it will be more down to the push to pass, why people's lap times are a bit varied, but it is fascinating. Kind of it hasn't just been Mikhail at the front, absolutely dominating this race on speed every lap. There are laps where others go a bit quicker still. It does make for a very, very interesting dynamic there as... Come on, we're doing alright still. I'm actually closing in again a little bit on the guy in front. Maybe just through, obviously, use of that P2P. But yeah, it is a really, really good, fun car to drive inside the sim as well. Obviously, if you want to see me drive more of this car, definitely make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. We are getting closer and closer to 2K at the moment as well. So a massive thank you to everybody that is already subbed. So slidey, slidey, slidey. 17 laps, these tyres are starting to bleed. Right, come on, let's go. Try and use a little bit more P2P in towards turn 1. Haven't got much left though, so I'll get him into 6th gear. Ooh, careful of the wall. I think we did just set, new PB right at the very end there. 13 flat, so, I mean, dare I chase a 12 on this final lap around the circuit, maybe as the fuel burns off. Car feeling pretty agile, but yeah, I mean, it is a good fun machine. It works well around here as well. It feels like a bit of an old school combo that we're trying to manage, but this car's jumping out of the way. I think that is Boy again, who's not had the best time here, but might still, he's still going to gain 8 iRacing. That's just how important survival is in this kind of race. Ow! Hit that wall again, apparently, but we've got a 0x, so we should be alright. Boy jumps out of the way, though. It is going to be Mikhail, who I believe is going to take the win. Right towards the very end there, has dominated throughout a lot of that race after the early incidents. But through the final couple of corners, I'm always a little bit nervous when I do a race here at Long Beach, because you never know what might happen. Out of the final turn, though, from 4th on the grid, it could have been P2. I will not complain about P3, though. Very, very happy indeed. Over the bumps, across the start-finish line. Yeah, let's go take a look at the incident report, and then, of course, our final race results. Well, let's take a look then at our incident report here from the circuit. So this was the one immediately then at the start. I didn't even realise that Baxter had gone into the wall behind me, but, I mean, I'm not really sure what Mercier is trying to do either. It's kind of like the circuit goes that way. I think it's a little bit of a miscommunication as well, but yeah, I personally felt that Mercier, I mean, he had most of the track to try to avoid it. Somehow, nobody else got involved in that one. I'm sure there'll be another incident, though, down in towards turn 1. I mean, what on earth are you trying to do there? And we'll get pushed from behind, and then there's even more carnage. And this guy doesn't brake! Look, he does not brake at any point. Listen. You'll never hear the other guy come off of the throttle trying to avoid that. I mean, what a ridiculous moment. This guy got completely just destroyed in that. That is hilarious, just the unwillingness at any point to finally come off of the throttle. We've got another one then that clearly ran off down at turn 1 and tries to get it going again, and we'll just about. Next up then, what's going to happen here? Maybe hit the inside wall? No, seems to get away with it. Not too sure what to report on that one. Delos up next then. Is it just skimming the outside wall? I've got no idea. Seems to be a couple of little bits. He was the first one that hammered a Besnard through the final couple of corners. Did he nick the inside wall? No, seems to be alright there. I want to take a look then at that incident between myself and him. So, where did he make the first mistake? Let's have a look. So, there we go. I'm now ahead of him already. So, this was, I believe, later on in the lap, wasn't it? So, it was coming out of here. He's not that close behind Mikhail either at this point. Tips the car in. Oh, hits the inside wall. And actually goes for a spin. So, sorry, Macau was behind him when he did that. So I'm staggered he survived that one. Because, yeah, hit the inside wall. And then clips the outside wall. And then even gets net-coded slightly as well on the exit. So Macau was very lucky that he was even able to survive that one. And somehow, yeah, able to keep going was David there. So here was the incident between him and myself. You can see I move over to defend. He goes to that side. And then... I mean, this is really horrible because I've defended the inside line. I made it clear where I'm going. There is still a gap there. And then, as you can see, if we slow it down... I don't know if I can try and... If I do a slow-mo... He's then kind of driven into me again. Like, there's a car's width there if he wants to commit to it. Oh, no, I've just completely got away from it. So anyway, yeah, if you slow it down, you can see he's following him a slipstream at the moment. I think he's looking to try and go to the outside. I defend it through the exit of the corner, as I'm completely within my right to do so. He moves to the inside line. Oh, sorry, what will be the outside for turn 1. Tries to kind of do a Daniel Ricciardo-style switchback. Now, watch the white line. He then moves back towards it again, into the back of me. And then, I believe, tries to dive me into turn 1, doesn't he, anyway? Luckily, gives me some room around the outside there, as he doesn't quite meet the apex exactly where I was expecting. And then we give him a big old squeeze in towards that next corner. I'm not backing out of that one. And then through the exit again. Where was his next spin then? This was a bit later on. So, yeah, just through the final corner again, I think. Just super easy to do it, isn't it? He got down the inside. I think was trying to give me space, but wanted to get on the throttle. And you just hear it, the spiker revs, and again, he does slow it down so he doesn't avoid too much damage either. But yeah, I mean, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that instant. Because like I said, I kind of defended the inside line. I think he wanted to go for the Daniel Ricciardo heroics. And then just kind of misjudged it. Well, taking a look then at our final race results. Minus 0.01 SR. I don't think I'll lose too much sleep over that one. But 76 iRacing gained, bringing us closer and closer to 2K once again. Macau, obviously, like we saw with that incident, once he got the lead, he never let go of it. 13 laps led over the course of that race. David, though, with 0x, so did very, very well there. The same for Aku just behind me. But yeah, Roberto Guerrero, as you can see, 36 seconds down. Disappointing day for him. Of course, was also a former F1 driver. The first Colombian F1 driver, for those of you interested. And then, yeah, as you can see, right down at the back, Lawrence Van Hoepen as well. Did take the start, but then never did a single lap. I think got involved in some of that contact down at turn 1. So never made it much further than that. But always quite interesting to race IRL drivers, despite the fact I never really saw either of them on the circuit. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. And yeah, we'll be back very soon with more iRacing content.